Hi there, this is Talia, and you are in my actual kitchen. You may notice there's a little contraption back there with a can on top of it. I'm actually pressing some tofu today. This is something that I've talked about quite a lot on my Instagram page. There's always a lot of interest around tofu. I'm going to link in the description the post. I do a little tutorial of how I press the tofu, and in the caption of that post, it'll tell you, answers a lot of common questions like, should boys eat tofu? Is tofu okay? Do you have to cook it? All of those things. Because tofu has become quite a staple in our home, and a lot of children really like the texture of it. And it's really simple to make, store, and it's very affordable to buy. So this is my kitchen, like I said, and I'm just going to be a bit candid. We just moved the mess over to that side. There are some dishes. We have a compost bin that we have over there, and my husband is actually here. He's the one that helps me film. He prefers not to show his face, but he's here helping me with all these videos, so big thank you to him. Alrighty, well, today I'm going to be answering one of your questions, and I'm going to read you the question, and then I'm going to go through the answer with you. And this is a good one because I think a lot of parents struggle with this as well, and I've got some really practical tips today. I like to think I have practical tips each time, but all right, here's the question that I received. What is the easiest way to transition a picky toddler to eating a wider range of food? I think that's a really great question. And I think even a toddler that isn't picky, every parent wants the kid to have a wider variety of food, to try new things and accept new things. And some children naturally have more willingness to try new foods than other children. One of the first things that I want to say to you is, it's so great that you care about this. It's really wonderful because your caring means that you want to put strategies into place to help with this. So know that if you're worrying about this, you are a wonderful parent, and I want to give you some tips today to help you with that. The first thing, which I've mentioned in quite a few videos, one of the best things that you can do is eat together and eat the same foods together. Don't be all over the top with, I love my broccoli, it's delicious. But when you sit together and eat together, I'll actually give you an example. This actually happened yesterday. We had made just some frozen peas, which I can do another video about. We made some frozen peas, we'd put some herbs and spices on there, and I was serving them with yesterday's lunch. And it was just me and my two kids, and we were sitting here eating at the table. One sits there and one sits there. And I got their food ready on the table first, and I had just put mine into the microwave, and I could see that neither of them were eating their peas. Okay, so I grabbed myself some peas, which I was planning to feed myself anyway, and I came and sat at the table, but I knew that I was thinking, what can I do to maybe encourage them, but without actually saying anything to encourage them? I sat down and I tried my peas, and I thought, peas sometimes, when you bite them, they burst in your mouth, and they make that sound. And I asked my daughter, the 3-year-old, did you bite your pea? Did you hear it crunch in your mouth? And then the entire rest of lunchtime, we were biting them together and listening. Oh yes, yours made a sound, or I didn't hear your sound. And I'll say, oh, that one had already burst. It had a split in it or whatever. The whole way through lunch. This was like 30 minutes, and I was kind of sick of it by the end. But my daughter ate peas and she enjoyed it, and the baby ate a few as well because she liked that we were making a game out of it. Not that I want to make eating a game, but making it an engaging, something that is enjoyable. That's what's important, and modeling that you're enjoying it too. We just sat there and crunched our peas together. It was really silly, but it got the result that most parents want. So kind of thinking on the fly and just making a silly thing out of it, tasting it, crunching it, anything like that. But eating together really helps child food acceptance, meaning that your child is more likely to try things when you are eating the same foods together at the same time with them. So don't underestimate how important that is. And even if your child doesn't, even if my daughter refused to eat the peas yesterday, okay, that's okay. They were on her plate. So to my first tip, I recommend starting with small portions. So sometimes if there's a food that I know that my daughter it's not her favorite, I will give her a very small amount of it. It's less, scary, intimidating to a child if there's just a small bit there. Whereas if you give them, let's say it's broccoli, if you give them a ginormous floret of broccoli and they oh, that's just too much for them. If you give them a little tiny piece, let them decide if they're going to try it. And if they do, you can always give them more, because you want to kind of keep food waste down, but you also want to not make it intimidating. So starting with small portions and adding more is a great way to start. Another thing that I would recommend is, if you have the ability to do this, take your kid to the supermarket with you. Have them help you put the food into bags. Have them help you test if the food is ripe or not. This is soft, this is hard, does it smell good? Can you put it into the bag for me? Can you hold it? Like, all of those are food exposures, because they're seeing, looking, smelling, touching foods. That's a food exposure. That's really important. Don't underestimate how important that is. The next thing I'd recommend is getting them into the kitchen with you. Get them a chair. I don't have a fancy contraption. I know you can buy really fancy, like, learning towers that sit in the kitchen and whatever. My kids stand on a chair. And they will help me either. They can mix when they're very little. They can help with mixing. They can help with transferring, say, zucchini or carrot that you've cut into a bowl. They can help with a lot of things, dumping in ingredients. They can help with a lot of stuff, pressing buttons if you've got, say, an Instant Pot or anything like that, pressing the buttons to help you, just to get them involved. It's another opportunity for them to see the food, touch the food, smell the food. Sometimes they may even want to try some, because it's a non-pressure period, meaning that sometimes at a meal they can feel pressured, especially if you're saying things like, try some, it's delicious, you'll love it. Like, that's a pressure, and I would recommend not saying those things. But when you're in the kitchen, it's not a mealtime, so there's zero pressure there. So try that as well. Another thing that I would recommend is getting some silicone holders like this. We actually bake with them. This is the one that my husband didn't want to show you because it looks kind of used, because it is used. These ones are less used because they look so beautiful. But sometimes putting the foods into small things like this it's colorful, it's interesting, it's different. You can still put it on a plate, but it looks, nicer and a bit different. Can be a way to encourage them to try new things. Making a plate rather than just 2 or 3 foods. Make your meals more of like a snack plate where you have like 7 or 8 different things. Like, you could give them, some pretzels and a little bit of broccoli in one, and a bit of carrot in another one, and a bit of meat in another one, or a meatball, or some pasta, or whatever it is that you're giving. Lots of little options, small amounts of different options to give them lots of variety. So there are lots of strategies that you can employ here. Just to wrap up, one of the things that I did want to tell you is I've got a video on mealtime roles, which can really help take the pressure off you and also your child, which helps a lot with picky eating. The first course that I have is called The Common Mistakes Parents Make That Increase Picky Eating. I will put that link in the description for you. It's short and no fluff. You can do it at rest time. I had designed it that way so that you can implement strategies and be confident right away. I really hope some of these strategies helped you out today and can maybe give you a new perspective on feeding your child who may be labeled as a picky eater. If you did find it helpful, please subscribe to my channel and turn your notifications on so you don't miss another video. I'm going to be doing a lot more QAs just like this one to help you out, and I really hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. This is Talia. This parenting thing is hard. I'm here to help you make this feeding journey a little bit easier. If you enjoyed that video, please subscribe, and here are a couple more to keep you going.